let me just go through quickly then. So maybe it's just the way they're said, the way they're written, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a, what levels? 5, 6 question. All right. So, I like to think probably one of the easiest things for you, although we don't do it in this school, is your test scores, right? I scored this much out of this much, what percentage, right? So, what percentage of 50 is 10? How would you put that in the, this is my test score thing? What would you say? What percentage of 50 is 10? 10 out of 50. Yeah. So, question A is 10 out of 50, if you want to simplify that as a percentage, but I mean, obviously that's not a method of working out as a percentage, that's just rewriting it. What is 30% of 20? You're okay with that one, right? Yeah. Is it going to be more or less than 20? A lot, like a lot less, a little bit less? Why a lot less?
Because it's 20, 100% is 20, so 30% is going to be a lot lower.
Yeah. I think that's an important statement that you've just made there. 100% is 20, therefore 30% is
6.
Well, without telling me the answer is, that's what I want to find out, yeah? However you want to do it. 15 is 45% of what number? So this time we can say that 15 equals 45%. Yeah? I want to know what 100% is. Yeah? That's C. That was what we were talking about yesterday, right? That was what we were doing yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah?
15 and 40.
50
Oh,
is 45%
oh.
of D, what is 60% of 90? Well, that was like B, yeah? 60%. So 100% is 90. I want to know what 60% is. E, how do we think about that one then? Without telling me how to do it, how do I think of it? Yeah. Before you tell me how, I don't want to know how, just how to sounds correct what you're saying, but I want to know how do I interpret the question first? So 40 is 25%, so I would just write 40 equals 25%, so I want to know what is 100%, that's what they're asking, yeah? So a lot of these, they're repeated, right? And then finally F, that was it. F is, what percentage of 80 is 60? So how do I interpret that one? So we can say 80 is 100%, and I want to know 60 is what percent? And I guess we could use next if you want. Now, the reason why I haven't asked you to tell me how to do it is because there are lots of different ways to do it. Yeah, I get that maybe the hardest bit for you is how do I interpret those questions. Looking at those now, does that sort things out for people?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is there anyone that still thinks, nah, I couldn't do it? No? Everyone could get on with it. How about you two go and sit next to someone else then, who can maybe help you, guide you, what they're doing? Yeah? Because if I do it, I'm just going to tell everyone, and not everyone needs to. I don't want to enforce my methods on them. Okay, I'm going to go through these relatively quickly.
Oh.
In some cases, I might have used a different method to you. I might try and use a couple of methods. But up to you. Really, hopefully, whatever method you used got you the right answer. If not, have to think about why. So the first question, we've already decided it's 10 out of 50. so I'm going to go through a couple of things, which is, because as Phoebe said, A and F are basically the same thing, but with different numbers. But I'm going to do A, I'm going to write it, I scored 10 out of 50. Right, so I'm going to write it as a fraction. Now there is reason for that, because earlier on, lower levels, you need to be able to convert fractions to percentages. Right, so we can use that skill. Right, I'm going to say that that is 1/5. Simplified, how do I do that? Divide top and bottom by 10. And then how do I get 1/5 as a decimal?
You can make it like bigger or just make it 2/10 instead. Just to find out easier.
You find that easier.
Yeah.
2/10, and then if you use your place value, that means that 0.2 in the tens column. Okay. The other way would have been to do 1 divided by 5, that gives me 0.2. Okay. The other way would have been to say 50 is the 100% mark. So if I get 50 out of 50, I get 100%. So I only got 10. What percentage is that? So obviously, that way, when I have to divide it by 5, so 100 divided by 5 is 20%. Okay, that's that there. Up to you which one you decide to use. So that's A. B. 100% is 20, what's 30? So I'm going to use this method again. 100% equals 20. 30% is what? So I need to get round there. So I'm going to go, well, I know I can go down to 10. So 10% divide by 10. That gives me 2. So then to go up to 30%, I times by 3 gives me 30% equals 6. Okay. Again, you might have used a different method. Up to you. C. Same kind of idea. 15 is 45%. We say X is 100%. Okay. I'm not going to use the way we talked about yesterday because only a few people got it, but if you want to use that, that's fine. This time I know that 45 doesn't go straight to 100, but I do know I can divide by 5. Actually, I don't want to divide. Or do I? No. What can I use?
You could times the numbers and make 45%, 90%, and make 15, 30%.
It's not percent.
Well,
So
30.
30 is 90%. Okay.
And then
Okay. 10% is 30 divided by 9. It's going to be a decimal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I need to times by 10. So 100% is 30 divided by 9 times 10. And you could do that on your calculator, could you?
33 would.
Yeah.
For great decimal.
33 and 1/3, I'll say. Yeah, because I know how to turn.
But you get everyone.
I would, by the way, I would give you full credit for doing 33.3 with a dot, full credit for 33 and a third. I'd take a little bit off if you just wrote that, because that is that, but done better, isn't it? Yeah? All understand that? Yeah. So one with decimals, it didn't work, but the method still worked, yeah? Put your hand up if you used a different method for that one. Did you get it right? Yeah. Good. D. Let's work that up here. 100% is 90, 60% is. So what can we do here? I would say 10% is 9 times 6. So 60% is 54. We've got this one. This one's nice and easy laid out like this. It's just times 4, isn't it? So therefore x equals 160. And then finally 80 is 100%. What would you do? I would go 20%. No, sorry. 20 is, so divide by 4, 25%. Yeah? Times that by 3, and I get 60 is 75%. Like I said, there are a range of methods that we could use. You may have different ones. You may well go on and use different ones as you get better with it. But I think that's a relatively standard, consistent approach if that works for you. Okay? Okay, any questions on any of those? Okay. Like I said, I'll postpone the assessments. It's not Monday, it'll be the Wednesday. That's nice. That gives us Wednesday to talk about this. But I just want to tell you that your assessment will be based on all these things. So remember what you have to be able to do. The grids, percentage using grids. It's been a while, like we should have done this weeks ago, really, but as you were off doing other things, we had to postpone. Changing fractions to decimals and so on. Do you remember we did the ones with recurring decimals? Yeah, just talked a bit about 0.333. The big thing though is when it gets to the 5, 6s and 7s and 8s, what do you notice about the change in the question? Words. And you have to be able to take the numbers out and write them in the same way that we just did with the example we just went through, yeah? So that, where I went through and thought, well, what is it actually telling me? And what I find is people get a bit overwhelmed by a question like this. And you need to take stop and think. So some of you might get extra support when it's like this. If you've got someone that could read it out for you, I can do that. That's take it safe, read it safe. Okay, so we can practice these, because like I said, the questions are going to come from here, but I'll change the numbers. So if you can figure out how to do it there, you can figure out how to do it in the day. So you've got the weekend, and we've got Monday if you've got any questions. The reason why I wanted to talk about your yellow sheet that I've just given you, right, is we haven't done one yet, have we?
Yes.
You have. Can you remind me the rules? Phoebe?
Like, you can't write like the exact questions and answers.
Yeah.
Can you make up your question?
Well, I don't want to see questions like these just written. What I want to see is general kind of, this is how you do, yeah? So if you want to say fraction into percentage, blah, blah, yeah? I shouldn't see examples of like the word questions and stuff. You can't just write approximately 400 million people in the America are illiterate. Like, I don't want you to change simple words like that. Go, I've rewritten the question, it's my own book. No, right? So we don't write out those kind. This sheet should literally be like a formula sheet where you say how to convert a fraction to a percentage. Okay. How to do fraction into a decimal. How to do decimal, like a general. Like if you were doing a criterion B, you'd have to generalize it to one example. So I should only see one example of each thing. That's why you only get one sheet. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So if I see your sheet is just lots of different questions, and it won't be much use to you, and I just take it away from you on the test. You won't get it. All right. So, like the grid question, maybe you just need to make sure there are 100 squares or that kind of thing. Yeah. So generalize it. Any questions on that? let me just make it one thing clear as well, because I don't want to get this from parents. Yes, you can take this home and do it at home. Do not tell parents that I won't let you, therefore you have no homework to do. As one of my older students tried to tell their parents, who then complained at me. You can take it home, you can prepare it at home. I suggest one thing you should look at is not just this unit review, but this, the unit summary, has the basic, the skills that you need to be able to do. Yeah?
Can we take this?
If you need to take the book for the weekend, but please make sure you bring them back. As you see, we don't have enough room.
On teams, there's